Hi, everyone. My name is Ashish Arya. I lead strategy and marketing for Pinterest for the financial services industry. I'm excited to be here with you today to discuss how Pinterest is delivering inspiration in a post-pandemic world. So let's jump in. At Pinterest, we're on a mission to bring everyone the inspiration to create a life they love. Over 450 million people around the world come here each month to find new ideas for what to do next. There's one major quirk of Pinterest that I didn't appreciate when I myself invested ad dollars on it. I formerly worked on the brand side at Coca-Cola and Starwood Hotels. And that quirk is that Pinterest is a place where people come to plan what they're going to do next. This matters, but especially now in light of COVID, when planning has been an all-time high on our platform. Today, we're going to dive a bit deeper into what this future-focused data is teaching us and how your brand can use these findings. To set the stage, we're going to talk about three things today. First, why social media needs positivity. Second, delivering inspiration truly matters. And third, how we at Pinterest are thinking about the future of the financial services industry and our role within it. More nights last year than I'd like to admit, I found myself doom scrolling, mindlessly thumbing through my feeds full of scary statistics, grim updates, and fear-inducing ads. I'm sure many of you felt the same feeling. It is exhausting, and it did nothing to help mounting anxieties. What it comes down to is we're addicted to this behavior. But is it actually what we're craving? Turns out, not so much. In 2020, your audience was stuck inside, so they went inward. They worked on themselves. Now they know what they stand for, and they're relying on brands to follow suit. Gone are the days when people would turn a blind eye to the environment in which their ads appear. In other words, positive context matters. You need to get crystal clear on where your advertising is running, and it's not just a moralistic argument anymore. The majority of customers say that they're more likely to remember brands they encounter online when they feel positive. They're more likely to have a positive association with brands that show up in a positive environment. And they're more likely to trust brands that show up in a positive space. And most urgently, they're more likely to purchase from a brand when they see it in a positive space. People come to Pinterest to feel positive. 8 in 10 pinners go to Pinterest for this feeling, while only 3 in 10 say that about social media competitors. That's pretty striking. In addition to that, our latest research says that adjacency matters more than ever. If your brand or ad appears next to harmful content, consumers will trust the brand less and assume that the brand endorsed this content. It'll also negatively impact their perception of your brand. We get a kick of people on other social media platforms talking about how positive of a place Pinterest is. My favorite tweet is this one: Pinterest is a manifestation app. I will not be elaborating any further. We love to hear from our users that on Pinterest, they feel positive. Often, a commitment to your values means going against the grain, doing something before it's the standard practice, because it feels right and it feels true. We've always had a zero tolerance policy when it comes to harmful content on Pinterest, from blocking health misinformation, anti-vaccination content, and election misinformation, to offering mental health resources via compassionate search. We go the extra mile to make our platform a safe and inspiring place. On July 1st, we did just that. We rolled out a huge policy update. We became the first platform to ban all weight loss ads. This is an expansion of our ad policies that have long prohibited body shaming and dangerous weight loss products and claims. I'm extremely proud of this decision. According to the National Eating Disorder Association, there's been a steep rise in unhealthy eating habits and eating disorders in young people since the pandemic last year. Next, at Pinterest, inspiration is integral to our mission. So our research team took some time to actually quantify what inspiration means. We sifted through 100 million data points from markets all over the world and came up with a single conclusion. Inspiration arises from both insight and movement. You can't have one without the other, period. To simplify, we boil this theory down to a visual that we're calling the inspiration diamond. Here's how it works. First, your customer enters the insight phase. They start dreaming. The focus here is on breadth, more ideas, more possibilities. Then they enter the movement phase. They need help making those dreams real. The focus here is on narrow and specific, taking these ideas and zeroing in on one, making it a reality. Here's why this is fascinating to me. A lot of people think inspiration as the left side of the diamond, the high-level ideas, but our research showed that this is only half of the equation. You can't have inspiration without action. It's not about creating a feeling of awe. It's about inspiring a feeling of urgency. So why is this an urgent insight? Because people haven't been able to take action for over a year. They've been stuck in the insight phase. Searching, saving, and dreaming buoyed people throughout the pandemic. It took them from survival mode to future planning mode. But now, after a year of lockdown, they're quite literally bursting at the seams. As they reemerge, people are explicitly looking for help in going from an idea to I did. They're ready to move into the movement phase of the diamond, to make their plans a reality, and they need your help. This is where brands come in. Brands in an industry, including financial services, your consumers need help entering the movement phase. It's not enough to just serve up compelling imagery. Give them something to aspire to, something concrete that they can make real. Show the finished product, like saving for personal finance goals or step-by-step instructions, and always make it actionable. Show them how to shop it. Sometimes the best way to go from an idea to action is by making a purchase. Another way to do this is by story pins. I love this format because of how actionable it is. With story pins, creators and brands can not only inspire their following ideas, but share step-by-step instructions of how to bring them to life. Story pins are brand new and available to all brands on Pinterest. As we all know, trust is the foundation of all good and healthy relationships. In the business world, this is no less true. As we think about the future of financial services industries and building a thriving long-term relationships with our customers, trust is vital. And our customers are telling us the same thing. 88% of them say trust is necessary to build loyalty. Even so, trust in our industry is at a 5-year low. Ever since the 2008 financial crisis, the financial services industry has had some serious trust issues with our consumers. In fact, the Edelman Trust Barometer, which is the world's largest aggregator of trust-based research, ranks the financial services industry as the second least trusted industry on the planet. Furthermore, people don't even trust their own financial advisor. Only 44% say they trust their financial advisor to act in their best interest. While financial services industries is the number 2 least trusted industry, social media fares even worse. It has now surpassed it as the least trusted industry in the world, according to Edelman. So now that we agree on the importance of trust, the question you might be asking yourself now is, how should a brand build trust? Who's doing it right, and how do I learn from that? Enter Pinterest. On Pinterest, people just feel safer. We like to think of it as the last positive corner of the internet. Our most recent research shows that on Pinterest, people feel safer. In fact, Pinterest was ranked the number 1 in trust attributes such as brand safety, content standards, transparency, and reputation versus our 7 biggest competitors. Additionally, particularly relevant to this audience is the fact that pinners rank financial services content on Pinterest more trustworthy than other social media sites. So I want to summarize our time together today. On Pinterest, financial services brands can reach their target audience in an open mindset while they're planning their future and making financial decisions in the most trusted environment in social media today. This allows inspired financial services decisions to start on Pinterest. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak with you today. We're now going to pause this session. Please join a live Q&A by clicking on the subsession at the bottom of this page. Thank you. Okay, great. So the first question that I see is, can you walk us through an example of how financial services advertisers are using Pinterest right now? Great question. I think one of the best use cases to talk about is how major life events happen on Pinterest, right? They're trigger events that happen on Pinterest. And these life events are very well aligned with the financial services industry. So life moments that happen on Pinterest, examples of those could be renovating a home, having a baby, planning a vacation. 35 million people on Pinterest are actively in the process of getting married, 45 million people are buying a new home. And these life moments are, the best place for financial services companies to get in front of Pinterest, because Pinterest is this preferred platform for life moments. And people are in the midst of these events. And as we all know, life moments trigger these financial decision-making decisions. 8 out of 10 weekly pinners on Pinterest actually say that they are seeking FinServe content on Pinterest while they're planning a life event. I think that's the question that I see so far. Let me check the Zoom chat. All right, I see a question in Zoom around how is Pinterest thinking about its creator strategy? So great question. I think to back up a step on our creator strategy, if you think about the last year, COVID really put our passions into perspective. And for many of us, there's really no going back, right? Creating lives we love isn't just a nice to have, it's a must have. So this is really the reason Pinterest is putting creators first. Creators actually manifest the future of social commerce. Recent research from Antler found that there's actually over 220 different platforms that can help somebody turn their hobby into a paying profession, such as being an influencer or creator. So there's no lack of choices out there, no lack of choices for where creators can focus their energy on. But a couple points about what makes Pinterest the most unique for creators and really differentiates us. One is creators on Pinterest actually are at this intersection of where expertise meets influence. And this makes them a trusted voice in this inspiring action people are taking. Creators actually help people turn inspiration, which they come to for Pinterest, into action, which they're looking to make. And finally, inspiration is as much about discovering ideas as it is about taking this action. When creators share their ideas on Pinterest, they're reaching people who are looking to make a decision, people who want to discover and try, and they're not necessarily there just for watching or entertainment. Okay, cool. The next question that I see in Zoom is, Pinterest is known for releasing trends. Can you talk a little bit about trends on Pinterest and how we release that information? Sure, happy to. So I guess I'll start with why trends on Pinterest are actually important and why we have strong footing to talk about trends. What it really comes down to is the data on Pinterest itself is really powerful, right? As I said earlier, people come to Pinterest to plan their future. They're making decisions about tomorrow, next week, or next month. And as a result, that gives us the earliest indication about not what already happened, but what's about to happen. And that level of insight about where people are heading next is really valuable to our brand partners and creators on Pinterest. So what we've done is we use this disaggregated data to say, what are things that are not yet huge, not yet trending, but they're going to be massive over the course of the next few weeks, months, or years. We did this, if you back up to 2019, leading into 2020, and I think we can all agree 2020 was kind of the most unpredictable year of all time. And we went back and looked at our research of what we predicted in 2019 for 2020. And we actually predicted 80% of our predictions came true. So the data is really robust. You can find our predictions at pinterestpredicts.com. You could play around the predictions. You could see what's going to happen, what's going to spike and may not happen yet. Take advantage of these trends. And on pinterestpredicts.com that I mentioned, we're going to be releasing our 2022 predictions in the next few months as well. Let's see. Here's another question from Zoom. So creators and influencers seem to be buzzwords in social lately. Can I talk a little about what's causing that? So absolutely. There's no doubt these are buzzwords that many in the industry and in neighboring industries are talking about. And I think what's really accelerated the use of creators and influencers in our economy is COVID pandemic, as it's accelerated a lot of things. It's propelled kind of a generational shift in the workforce. For many, all this time that we spent working, learning, and creating from home helped become kind of this proof point that many needed to say that if I can do this on behalf of a company, I can do it myself. In fact, there's a stat to support this. 29% of American students are actually aspiring to become creators and influencers. They're not necessarily aspiring to kind of the traditional jobs that we're used to. And so what's happening in social and on social platforms are there's this infrastructure upon which creators are generating economic opportunities, and they're able to monetize their passions to make a living. Creators are driving a convergence of digital influence and e-commerce into what's being dubbed, obviously, as social commerce. So it shouldn't be surprising that creators are going to continue to play an increasingly important role in driving purchase on social media platforms.